Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only
Warning
a
the
giant.
What's
NFL.
going on YouTube? Diggy546. And not only are Giants fans and the media putting a high praise on Jaxson Dart this offseason, his own teammates are saying that basically the league should be put on notice. The league should be scared of what Jaxson Dart can possibly turn
For
into
real?
this year. Now, Jermaine Illuminor had an interview
It's
with
like I already
TNT
knew that.
Sports where he just came out and said,
That's
he said
JD6.
Jaxson Dart could be the best quarterback in the NFL this year. And while, of course, that's pretty bold, that's very bold,
No,
I
it's
think
not.
he has all the traits necessary to get that done. I think he has every single trait
Absolutely.
on that list. He can move. He can throw the ball well. I don't think he has a rocket cannon arm, but he does have a good arm for the NFL. Again, he can run as far as down the field running. He can run behind the field. He can, not behind the field, behind the line. He can create. He basically checks almost every single box.
He's a
that
good
you look
pocket
for
quarterback.
when you look for an elite quarterback.
He's a good-
in the NFL. So of course,
he got
year
good
we get
pocket
this
awareness,
about,
too.
especially young quarterbacks, where there's a lot of hope. But I'll just tell you, man, it just feels great to have this much hope around a quarterback. I know we had Daniel Jones, and we were pretty sure that he could be a franchise quarterback after his rookie season.
Yeah, true.
I was convinced year after year. Once we got to like year 4, I was like, I'm off the train. I think it was probably halfway through year 3. And I just thought he couldn't be a franchise quarterback for the Giants. And I was right.
Yeah.
Couldn't be a franchise quarterback for the Giants, but he clearly has the traits to be a franchise quarterback, and it looks like he's achieving that for the Indianapolis Colts. But here for the Jaxson Dart, just his ability to make something out of nothing, it far exceeds what Daniel Jones could do.
Yup.
It far exceeds it. Just the creativity, the improvisation. I know sometimes that gets overrated, but I think just his ability to do that puts him over the top. Of course, what he's got to do this upcoming season is play within the structure of an offense.
Like I said, the pocket. Oh my god. The pocket awareness and the way he's able to extend the play and buy time. I think that's like a lost art for certain like these young quarterbacks because they just system out. System, the ball is out. But the way he's able to control the clock and control the drive, that's one of his best traits in his game for me.
Offense more consistently. He's going to have more of a running game. He's going to have more weapons. Like even with Malik Neighbors, with him questionable up in the air, he's going to have more weapons. He's going to have more competency at coaching around him. So
Bro, those 3 or 4 games that Malik Neighbors was in, he was cooking. Bro, Malik Neighbors was off to a all-pro season. He had the last game they played, I think, like together, he had 164 yards in that game, bro. They was cooking together. And he was like the only receiver for real. Well, not the only receiver, because you had Wandell. But like Wandell got them receiving yards because Malik Neighbors wasn't, healthy. So he had to target it to someone else. But Jaxson Dart didn't have the weapons that he will have today. And he still cooked.
I expected the structured things of his game to get better. And this is a guy that played in structure in college. Like, yes, Ole Miss, they didn't run a pro-style offense, but he still played in structure, made nice NFL throws in college. So let's talk about some numbers here. Of course, last year, 2,200, almost 2,300 yards, 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. That's a nice ratio. 63 completion percentage, close to 64. We'll want to get that up, of course, but that's fine. 91 passer rating and 12 starts. And, of course, he didn't play that full 12th game. He went out a couple of times in these games. 9 rushing touchdowns to go with the 15 passing touchdowns. So that's most in Giants franchise history in the season for as far as rushing touchdown goes. So I think this guy showed his rookie season that he's incredibly
You just need to stay healthy. That's it.
Look at the big time throw ratings. 19 big time throws, which is, I think, 8th in the league. and he played 12 games. So 8th in the league, and he played 12 games. And then he has 15 turnover-worthy plays. So that's about league average. So maybe, you go a little higher than league average for turnover-worthy throws. But he's also had big-time throws that are in the top 10. I really like to focus on that because that shows that he has the arm strength that a lot of people tried to say he didn't have. He's able to consistently make those throws, and as a rookie, he's going to get better. He's going to continue to learn, continue to make smarter decisions, and again, he's going to have more weapons around him, and that's only going to make.
And that's what he got
last year. It was
we got that.
Cam Scatterboo and vibes.
We got that for him,
and we were
absolutely got it
an
for him.
unstoppable offense for a couple of weeks. So Jermaine Illuminor may have gone out on a limb. It's very difficult to supersede Patrick Mahomes, but could Jaxson Dart maybe go out and win an MVP? I would be surprised.
Potentially.
I mean, I'm not.
He has the talent too.
I think that's what he's going to do this year. But would I be completely floored? Like I just could never believe that could ever happen. I do think he has a lot of a skill set to where if this team
he
fire,
has the ability to do it.
He makes some nice throws and some big games, and he does what he did last year, except at a larger scale. He could be in that MVP discussion. This isn't me saying that he will be. Listen to what I'm saying. This isn't me saying that he will be in that MVP discussion, but he will have the chance to, because he'll have a better team around him. He'll have another year under his belt, and with the tools he has, the sky's the limit. It's just about how quickly he can develop. So like I said, his rookie season was basically Cam Scatterboo and vibes. We did have Wandale, but Wandale is a good receiver. I think he's a good receiver. Yes, but he's not a wide receiver one. He's not. Malik Neighbors went out with the season in the injury. And Jaxson Dart's first game, Neighbors is out. We go out and beat the Chargers defense that was supposed to basically put Jaxson Dart in the hospital, confuse him. He was supposed to throw 5-6 interceptions. Jesse Minter was so scary coming in, and Jaxson Dart handled the Chargers pretty much.
Yep.
Cam Scatterboo goes out after 4 or 5 games. Cam Scatterboo goes out. Andrew Thomas missed some time last year, so he dealt with a ton of injuries last year, and he injured himself too. The roster. We brought in Isaiah Likely. We brought in Darnell Mooney. We brought in Odell Beckham, who's on his last leg, but that last leg might be pretty good. Still have Darius Slayton in the wings. Still have Theo Johnson in the wings. You bring in a Pat Ricard to help out Cam Scatterboo in the backfield, and Cam Scatterboo's injury was a freak injury. And knock on wood, Malik Neighbors will be back before a 5th game. That would be great. But nonetheless, you take a look at last year, the way that team looked before and after Brian Dable was night and day. The discipline of that team under Mike Kafka, interim offensive coordinator who's never been a head coach in the league, how they looked under Mike Kafka was night and day compared to how prepared they were under Brian Dable. So I expect him to be a million times more prepared.
Yep.
I expect his defense to actually have his back more times than not, like they were last year, because we actually have a defensive coordinator. Even Charlie Bullen had that defense looking amazing last year. So I expect the coaching around him to be better. I expect the offensive weapons around him to be better. That all equates to him having a better season. Again, with a next year under him, you add CC on the offensive line. You got the 2 tackles that are your bookends. You feel better this year because not only do you have your 2 tackles that are your bookends, you also have 2 other guys behind those 2 that you think can play some nice football. So CC could possibly move out to right tackle.
Possibly.
Marcus Bowe played left tackle and did not look like a turnstile. So you're 4 tackles deep at this point. And you've added weapon. So there is a little bit of concern here for Jaxson Dart. Again, he has to learn how to play in structure. Held the ball for too long at times. He led the NFL in pressures, judged, to be his own fault, which means he just held the ball for too long. And I saw that in 4K. Sometimes he just held it for too long, tried to make a big play. That just comes with the territory. Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, early in his career where he was a big-time player, consistently did that. Russell Wilson consistently did that. That just comes with this style of play, but it's something that he can clean up for sure. He dropped to a 50 PFF grade. And again, grain of salt. Dropped to a 50 PFF grade after his first read, but just the eye test shows you that when he wasn't on his first read, and he had to work through his progressions, it was not the best result. Now, he did have some games where he did that really well, and I was just really like over the moon because I was just thinking that's him showing that he can be that guy for us, but he has to consistently work through his reads and structure to be able to take himself to being an MVP candidate for sure. Now, of course, after he works through all those reads and then nobody's open and he, creates and extends the play, that can kind of bail you out from those situations. But just, winning the game in a strategic, cerebral way, I think he has the ability to do, and I think he can develop into. And John Harbaugh completely has come out and said it. He wants to use Jaxson Dart very similar to Lamar Jackson. Lamar ran the ball a ton.
Healthy, man.
Lamar
Please.
had to learn to protect himself. Jaxson Dart will learn to protect himself. He's not a complete idiot. Maybe he is, but I have to have some faith that he's not. He's going to have to protect himself. He's going to run a lot. He's going to throw the ball a lot. Lamar Jackson did a great job getting rid of the ball. Did a really good job getting rid of the ball and putting up high passing numbers and high passing touchdowns under John Harbaugh. And yes, he's not an offensive coordinator, but he's the head coach. When the quarterback and the entire team is playing bad, you blame it on the head coach. So when they're playing well, the head coach gets that credit too. So he's going to use him similarly to Lamar Jackson. Not to say he can replicate what Lamar is. He's not, a guy that's going to run for 1,000 yards. But can he run for 600-700 yards and also
I believe he can.
I think he can do that. And I fully trust John Harbaugh to make the right decisions in these situations. I fully trust that. I fully trust him to consistently get Jaxson Dart to protect himself. So you let me know, is Jermaine Illuminor completely off his rocker to say that Jaxson Dart could be the best quarterback in the league this year? Or do you agree? I
just don't think this season
for Jaxson Dart down in the comments and let me